4 seasons we followed Joe Goldberg, a character the writers created. Charming, articulate, obsessive, dangerous, somehow still human. So flawed but so real. I mean, for a psychopath. Joe's mission was simple: to find love, to do everything, anything for love. And for 4 long, chaotic, strangely romantic seasons, that's exactly what he did. So why the f*** did the writers decide to change everything? Why would they alter the show's entire direction, its tone, its essence, its heart? Joe's charm was the reason people kept watching for 4 fucking seasons, because we understood him. All that madness, manipulation, the violence, it came from somewhere. From damage, from abandonment, from being forced to make impossible choices as a child. He wasn't born this way. He was made this way. By circumstance, by pain, by environment. It's one of the strangest relationships between an audience and a character on television. We know he's a killer. We know he's delusional, but we also know why. And that why is what made him so fascinating. Penn Badgley, who plays Joe, once said he's a man searching for love in the worst possible way. And that's exactly it. Behind every terrible act, there's a flicker of something human. A broken child trying to connect. Joe wasn't born a monster, he was created. And yet, in the final season, the writers seemed to forget all of that. Season 5 didn't touch on any of those raw, emotional truths. Instead, they turned the story into a cartoon, a lineup of angry internet girls, exes, and one alpha female, all banding together to take Joe down. Characters who added little more than noise, influences, archetypes, reflections of everything shallow about the modern world. They took Joe's obsession, once psychological, romantic, tragic, and made it parody. By the end, they pushed him so far away from reality that he stopped being Joe altogether. Spoiler alert, he loses to this group of ladies. Somehow it collapses and he's left to die in the bookstore. The same place where it all began. Poetic, maybe, but empty. And then, as if that wasn't enough, the writers add an extra episode, a strange horror movie sequence in a cabin, a Freddy meets Jason moment that it felt like a different show entirely. Joe had always been self-aware, calculated, delusional, within reason, but now he's an overblown slasher villain, mutilated, caged, unrecognizable. That's not an evolution of a character, it's an erasure. And then they literally shoot him in the dick. A symbolic attempt to humiliate, emasculate, and somehow call that closure. Then they throw him in jail, they skip the trial, skip the reckoning, no introspection, no poetry, no moment to face the system and the traumas that built him. Imagine a courtroom finale, Joe on the stand, dissecting his own psychology. It could have been brilliant. Instead, we just get noise. Here's the amazing thing about television. Unlike a film, you can spend years working on developing a character, make millions of people invest in him, to connect with him, to even grow to love him, and then change all the rules at the end. You can condemn Joe, you can punish Joe, but you shouldn't betray this character that has built up over the years. Because when you do, you don't just kill the character, you kill the connection that people made with that character. Now when you go back to season 1, it doesn't feel the same. That tragic duality, the intimacy between good and evil, it's gone. What's left is a show that's turned against itself. That's the real tragedy of you. Not what Joe became, but what the writers made him stop being. Maybe that's what they wanted, to take back the story. to remind us that even monsters don't get to write their own finales. But still, you can't help but wonder, if Joe were watching, what would he say? Maybe just goodbye, you.